The Italian government has declared a state of emergency for the regions hit by Wednesday's 6.2 magnitude earthquake. Prime Minister Matteo Renzi announced that $56 million will be immediately available for the reconstruction of the towns destroyed. 250 people have been killed and more than 300 were injured. Rescue workers are still searching for survivors beneath the rubble, but the operation is being hampered by powerful aftershocks.
We are still using sniffer dogs units as the starting point in the search and rescue operations, and we are putting everything we have out in the field in order to continue the search operations. The chances of finding people alive in these conditions, in this type of setting, well, it's challenging. We need to hope and we need to work and we need to believe. We can still rescue someone alive. We're working against the clock to try and find people still alive.
Well, let's speak now to Sabina Castelfranco, who's joining us live from Amatrice. Good morning to you, Sabina. So please just give me an update on the search and rescue operation.
The search and rescue operation is ongoing and has been going on all night. The problem is, of course, that at the moment the only thing that they're managing to retrieve when they move the rubble out of place is dead bodies. No survivor has been retrieved in the last day. But the work continues non-stop in the hope that still someone may be alive. It is very difficult conditions, as you were mentioning, because of the aftershocks. As I look to my left here, the bell tower in the center of Amatrice is no longer standing straight. A powerful aftershock yesterday, which was 4.3 on the Richter scale, saw it lose another part of it. It collapsed. There were some emergency workers there. Someone was slightly injured, but the conditions are very difficult. And to find anybody still alive, the only method is using sniffer dogs. They're only using smell. So it is a very complicated process and a very slow and painstaking one.
Absolutely. And Sabina, as we talk, the scene behind you does look one of devastation. Perhaps we can ask your cameraman just to give us a shot of the rubble there behind you, and while you tell us what some of the main problems the emergency workers are dealing with.
Well, yes, the main problems, of course, was to get all the equipment they needed to try and remove all this rubble. Just this morning, one resident was here speaking to some of the workers, saying, I need to cross town. I absolutely need to cross town. My home is on the other side, and there is no way anybody is allowed, no local, no resident, to cross this part of town. It is much too dangerous. There is too much rubble, too much debris, and the roads are just blocked. No one is going to take the risk of allowing anybody who is not a volunteer, a soldier, or someone who is involved in this rescue operation to cross town. But this is not the only situation like this. Like Amatrice, the other towns that were affected by this quake are facing similar situations. And then, of course, we have all the people who are no longer able to return to their homes, and a situation of relief services in these big tent cities that have been established just outside what have now become red zones where only emergency workers can go into.
And Sabina, then finally, what is the situation like for those who have been left home? You talked about these tent cities, and I understand that thousands of volunteers have rallied themselves and gone to these towns that have been affected.
Yes, over 5,000 people are involved here to help in the whole area, be they emergency workers, relief operators, soldiers, firefighters. Now, there is a lot of help being given to these people. The amount of solidarity that is being shown is huge. People understand that there is also a psychological problem to have been left without a home, to have lost dear ones, family family members and friends. There were many children who lost their lives in this quake because this was a time of holiday. Now, what relief are they being given? All sorts of possible help and assistance is being given to these families and to anybody who has been left homeless or who can no longer return to their home. They are being given warm food, a bed, a tent if possible, certainly blankets to keep warm, and anything that they may need as far as medical supplies or any other supply. For a long time, we saw trucks arrive here full of goods that were to relieve the people who were made homeless. At the moment, they are in a pretty good condition. They are looked after. But of course, as time goes by, these people realize that this is not just a question of a day or two. It may be weeks to come before they have a proper roof over their heads again.
Okay, well, Sabina, for now, from Amatrice, thank you.